Here we are, hanging out on the swings at the Kelsey Montague Mill. I'm with Molly. You getting the leg burn?
A little bit.
Okay, this is part of the great mural art that you're going to find throughout Vail with Art in Public Places. And that's what Molly is with. Molly Eppard is with the town of Vail, Art in Public Places. And what's really cool about this is you do tours for the public, select days of the month, and we're going to have them happen on today and then the first April, Wednesday in April. But this is so pretty. I just think this has been such a great addition. And when did murals really start becoming as part of the landscape?
So in 2019, the Art and Public Places Board decided to look at murals and spaces where we can integrate that into the Vail landscape and really kind of enhancing and beautifying some of these spaces. And what better places than the parking structures?
I know there's a lot of landscape that we can utilize here, and it kind of goes all throughout this little corridor. We're on the west end of the landscape, and Kelsey Montague came here in 2019. And you said the cool thing about what she does is she really invites the public to be a part of this, and she had quite a crowd when she was here.
She did. And one of the initiatives in curating the murals for Vail is we wanted to invite Coloradan artists. And Kelsey is actually fourth generation Coloradan. Wow. Even though she's internationally known, it was a great start as far as introducing the murals. And like you said, Kelsey really becomes, she wants the public to become a part of these murals by interacting with them.
And have you seen the wings that people stand in front of? That's her art as well. And I think there were people that are gathering thought Taylor might be here because she is a big fan.
Taylor Swift is a big fan, and you would say she kind of put Kelsey on the map as far as social media, having posed in front of her murals many years ago in New York City. And then Kelsey was commissioned by Taylor Swift to do a huge mural in Nashville. Wow. And that was right around the time that we had invited Kelsey to create this mural for Vail. And it's really just a burst of color as you're coming from the dark parking structures and seeing this wonderful landscape that's going to greet you on Vail Mountain.
I know, and this is not the only mural that we have now. We're going to show you some pictures and kind of walk you through some of the things that you might see on the tour or might just see if you're wandering around town today. And you've got Pedro and Jaime. Here they are.
Oh, they're great. And they work as a collective, and we invited them to create this mural at the Lions Head parking structure, also in 2019. And after that, this summer, we invited them to actually create some more murals, all near the Lions Head parking structure. These are the ventilation stacks just west of Dobson Ice Arena. Oh, yeah. And that was really fun for them to be able to paint in the round, is what they said. So it's kind of a continuation of their mural that they created in the parking structure. They were inspired by all the families who were really exiting that area to go to the Dobson Ice Arena as well as the library, and kind of continued that family.
Oh, it definitely does. Okay, that's great. So you're going to pop that over. And this is one of my favorites. This is on the top level of the Vail Village parking structure.
We have Jason Graves and Remington Robson, and they also work as a collective. And we thought that right at the top part of the parking structure, they would do something more realistic. So they did these two great dahlias. One is winter and one is summer. And there the artists are right after they completed that. And just really a delight to work with. And there is the winter dahlia, also on that top level of the parking structure.
Okay, yeah, they look so lifelike.
Right, and these are in Vail Village too, not the Lions Head structure.
Okay, perfect. All right.
And we also invited them, we wanted to welcome people kind of into the Vail Village structure. And they really kind of created this movement and motion and burst. And, that was actually in 2020 as we're kind of welcoming people back into Vail after the COVID days, and really just that fun burst of color. And it was a little bit of a surprise and delight for our guesting residents to enjoy as they return to Vail.
Okay, yeah, just so nice. And it is, I noticed it when I first came in. I was like, Molly, I noticed the new murals. So this is great to just kind of beautify some of the space. And you've got all that space with the concrete there. And then Olive Moya, this is the most recent one.
It is. And Olive was a young artist also out of the Denver area, and she uses a wheat pasting technique. And we collaborated with the Snow Sports Museum just around the corner from where the mural is to have this wonderful image of Vail, Mid-Vail, in the late 1960s, early 70s. And she wheat pasted that image of this Midvale ice bar onto the wall by La Cantina, and then added her color and form and gesture. And again, it's just a really great way to enliven some of these kind of more dull spaces within the
Yeah.
town of Vail parking structures. So
Yeah, and then that little one that's kind of right on your way out of the parking structure, another vintage photo collaboration with the Colorado Snow Sports Museum, and then she puts her extra special flair on it. So that just looks great.
And that's definitely a more polished image, probably a marketing image from Vail in those early days. And there we have Kelsey working away on her large mural as well.
Well, Molly and I have made our way to the west end of the parking structure because we want to tell you about this. So sometimes art is the written word. And if we can take this up, it says, to the extent of how deep the valley is at some given time. So it's kind of hard to see with our gimbal here, but this is on the west end of the parking structure, and this is from Lawrence Weiner.
Right. We were really fortunate in 2018, two prominent Vail art collectors, Vicki and Kent Logan, approached the town of Vail and were interested in seeing if they could donate this particular work. And Lawrence Weiner was a foremost artist of the conceptual movement out of New York who introduced text and word as a form of art.
Wow, yeah.
And it's really unusual to find a work by Lawrence Weiner in a small mountain town like this. I guarantee you every major museum you go into now, you'll say, I saw that in Vail.
I know.
It's the same artist. So it's really fantastic that we were able to include this in the collection.
Okay, and that's what's so neat is, you know, Kent and Vicki Logan have done so much for the public art here in the Valley. I know they're really prominent with all their art and the works down in Denver and elsewhere.
Right, and like I said, they have such a wonderful collection. Most of it will be gifted to Denver Art Museum, San Francisco, and the town of Vail is really fortunate that we have this work. And then this summer, we'll actually be installing 4 more works by from the Kent and Vicki Logan collection. So they've gifted some more art to Vail. We're extraordinarily fortunate to be able to include these contemporary works in our kind of museum without walls is what we say at our outdoor art museum.
The museum without walls, that's what we're calling it. So to learn more about this, and this is just a small sample of what you're going to find on the Art in Public Places tour, the art walks. So we're going to meet today a little before 11 at the top level of the Vail Village parking structure at the Welcome Center, and then put on your walking shoes. We're around.
We are just about an hour long, and this is approximately where we end the tour. So.
Okay. All right, perfect. Well, Molly, thanks so much for this information today. So just a little bit about the murals, and once again, that art tour today, and then the next one will be the first Wednesday in April.